live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La. I'm Dr. Aaron.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessamine Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also available on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
It's hashtag Miracle Monday, and we're going to talk about how to stay in grace even when your life is shit.
Everybody can use help with
I
that.
say that. We come together each morning to know the truth, live on spiritual principle. This morning, having a lot of coffee because I'm a little tired.
Are you? Yours is almost empty right there.
I know. I need like 5 more this morning.
That's because we are celebrating the first day of fall today.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the overcast weather.
It is the overcast.
Yeah.
We need a little extra miracles on hashtag Motivation Monday, so we have welcomed some very special guests to the show. Good morning, everyone, back in the studio. Hello.
What's up?
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us. We've got Rebecca Knox in the house, hot off the last season of Orange is the New Black on Netflix. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, we're so grateful that you're with us today. So tell us, how do you start your morning? What's your morning routine?
Well, I hear that this is a very popular way to start my morning, but I meditate. It's actually worth it. And then I have my water, and then I read my horoscopes, and you know, the usual.
What's your astrological sign?
Taurus.
Ooh, a bull.
Yeah.
I am a bull.
How do you most identify with your sign?
Stubborn, grounded. I don't really know. Yeah, those are really the stubborn and grounded, and I charge forward.
Yeah,
Like a bull.
tenacious.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yeah.
love that. Well, thank you so much for being with us
Thank you.
today. We've got Chef V in the house bringing fresh farm to the front door. Good morning.
Good morning, La La Land.
Oh, you look so beautiful and spot on brand with your green juice. So tell us, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, every morning when I wake up, I do a little bit of yoga, and then the first thing that I put in my body is my green drink.
And what is in your green drink?
It's got 7 greens blended with just a tiny bit of apple, so it's very low sugar. It's full of nutrients, so it gives me tons of energy throughout the day. So I don't really need any caffeine or anything throughout the day. Just have my green drink and sustains me all day.
Love that. And the most important question, how long does it take to make that green drink?
Well, I make it and actually deliver it to your home, so it doesn't take anything for
See?
you to make it
Boom,
at all.
there you go. You can deal with that.
Yeah, we like the efficiency in
Yep.
that. Well, thank you so much. Dr. David Feigenbaum is in the house. He is the author of Chasing My Cure, assistant professor, and advocate for Castleman's disease. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so grateful you're here. We look forward to continuing the conversation. But how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
So I get right into thinking about what are my research goals for the day. I have a disease called Castleman disease that I'm trying to cure as a researcher. So I get right into what can I do today? What are my goals for today? Because it's a big goal to try to cure a disease, but what can I do today? And I try to jump right into it.
The one thing. Amazing.
Yeah. For those folks who don't know, what is Castleman's disease?
It's a rare immune system disorder, kind of like a cross between an autoimmune disease and a cancer. And unfortunately, it's really poorly understood. So about a third of us will die within 5 years of diagnosis, another third within 10 years. So as a researcher and a patient, I dedicate every minute of every day to trying to cure this disease.
Wow, love that. We appreciate you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Brandon Stennis is in the house. He's a 7-time award-winning actor. Good morning. So how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, I go to school right now, so I would have to say in the night, I try to pack up my backpack so in the morning I could wake up, I could walk around the house. Sometimes I go outside on my patio and just like watch the sunrise, and I text my friends, I get ready for school, and then I go to school, and that's my day.
Wow, good for you. I have to say, in all of my school years, I never watched the sunrise.
Right?
I never did.
Oh.
One of the best things ever. Sometimes I film it on my phone. It is so beautiful, and yeah.
That's awesome.
That
Life
is
goals.
why his star is on the rise,
Right.
to be certain. Well, thank you all so much for being with us. We look forward to continuing the conversation later in the show.
I forgot we had
Yeah.
a young gentleman in the house. I really apologize for my cuss word. At the
Oh,
beginning.
you're good.
Oh, sorry
It's
about
life,
that.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
I had a great weekend. One of the highlights was I went down and saw a screening of a new docu-series called The Road to Dharma, which is amazing. It has not been picked up. It'll probably be on Amazon Prime. I'm sure we'll have them on the show when they come on. But Michael Malura did the score, beautiful music to all of it. And we had Adam Schramm. Sorry, I want to make sure I get his name right here. It'll come to me. But anyway, it was amazing. It's 8 people went to India, and they go on motorcycles. Some of them have never even ridden a motorcycle before, and they go up through 4 different peaks, like we're talking over like some snow on motorcycle, rocks, rain, everything. And it's really about how we have this resistance to all of us in life, and that are you either going to persevere, or are you going to succumb to the hard things in your life, or are you going to stay true to your mission?
Oh, I love that. I saw the trailer.
Right?
It looked amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, super cool.
And if you follow along in our Insta stories, it looked like you were in like this magical India
It did.
place. It was mystical.
Okay, so we go up. It's really amazing, as we're talking about grace today of miracles, right? So we get there a little late, and there's all these, chairs downstairs for the showing of the screening of the docuseries. And we go upstairs because it's this home of this artist, and I can't even tell you his name right now. But anyway, and you go up, and there's murals on the ceiling, mirrors on the walls, murals on the ground with different, different art all over. And then you put on the 3D glasses,
yeah.
and everything
Oh my gosh.
is 3D.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then they go, we're so sorry, all the seats have been taken downstairs, so you're gonna have to watch it up here in this art room on this beautiful couch with 10 other people.
Nice.
And then in walks a gal who I've never met that we've been texting because we do business together. Her name's Dharma. So I ran into Dharma.
Wait, her name is Dharma?
Her name is Dharma. I ran into Dharma for the first time, never met her in real life, in this room watching. We were giggling. All of us were giggling, and we're like, this is grace.
Sounds amazing.
Right here.
Wow. How was your weekend, Jess?
It was great. We were celebrating our counterparts in primetime television for the Emmys this weekend. So it was full of red carpets and gifting suites and getting red carpet ready. I was not there, but I was celebrating in spirit, supporting all of our dear friends and the very talented cast and crews that make primetime television possible.
Yeah.
I love
so
that. I
beautiful.
was also celebrating in spirit my sister's IM conference. A great turnout. Mostly a retreat, inspirational retreat. So I think everybody had a pretty good weekend, right? Can't believe it's Monday already.
I love that it was called I Am.
Yes,
That's
I thought about you.
We love your sister. Send big hugs to her and everyone that I'm sure was touched, moved, and inspired, and all the above.
She loves you guys. So,
Yeah. So today is Miracle Monday, and we want to talk about how do you stay in grace when your life is not so graceful, when you're having hard times, when you're having like obstacles, like being sick, like all these things. So that's what I was thinking about over the weekend at watching the docuseries. So how do we stay in grace? How do you guys stay in grace? In the midst
Reach
of
for
all
the
that?
alcohol. Keep me right tapped in. No, I think for me, it's mostly staying out of my head. I think that's always the key for me is if I stay out of my head and I just experience whatever's happening without judgment, without commentary, without condemnation, I find that I'm able to sort of move through it swimmingly. But that's something that I've had to practice for decades now, right?
It's a good muscle. You go to the gym in the morning, get your muscle
Literally,
right,
I
and you
do.
go-
I practice. So that's one thing I have found is that, you can take any single principle in life. I don't think you need a dozen. If you take one single principle and you apply it everywhere with everybody all the time, you get really good really quickly. So there's like one thing I can do and then 99,000 things that I can't. But that one is something I've been working
You
on for a
mastered
while.
that one.
No, I wouldn't say I'd mastered it, but certainly
I think
working
so.
on the mastery.
I think you have.
I haven't mastered that flip of the switch as easily as you have, Rob. So I really have to take myself to the ocean, interrupt my patterns and my rituals, and really just get a little bit of perspective. I was also at the Shane's Inspiration event in Griffith Park yesterday, and they were honoring and celebrating diversity and inclusion. And there was this little boy, and he was no more than 6 years old, and he had no legs. And he was laying on his torso on a skateboard, literally just to move through the event. And it just put everything into perspective, how grateful I am for the healing my body has done, for the ability and the opportunities that we have. It just, sometimes you have to physically witness it to flip that switch.
Absolutely.
I recognize
I think you guys summed up. I feel like there's 3 ways of doing it, and I think that we pretty much summed up. Yours is basically moving past the mind and just experiencing it without any resistance, which I think is absolutely genius. Jazz, I think it's absolutely perspective is everything.
Yes.
Like if I'm a little sick,
Right.
it's it's better than what I mean. If we put it in relative perspective, it can shift everything instantaneously.
Totally.
And then the third way, because you guys, we completely summed it perfectly. The third way is really understanding truth and understanding the truth and getting to right mind, which is basically knowing that even if I'm feeling a little low energy or symptoms, like say I'm sick, there is a divine order saying you're not in alignment. You got to get back on truth. Or say someone's dealing with an autoimmune, system, that this is their divine calling to make a difference and do the research, like one of our guests today, right? There is a divine order, and I know that whatever is going on, this is for my highest good and for everyone's highest good, and I have to trust and know and step into my grace, knowing that it's all the good things and the hard things all come in with flow for growth.
That is so profound. I totally agree with you. I remember most of my life I spent wishing for things, hoping for things, praying for things, and I'd often get them and then I'd be upset. 'Cause I'd find out that the blessing that I thought was going to be a blessing ended up up being a huge challenge,
Right.
which was a blessing in its own right. But I suddenly realized why people would joke and say, "Oh, Buddha never taught people to pray because they never knew what to pray for." Right? It's like a lot of the things that you think you want aren't the things that you most need.
So true.
And it's interesting the way life always has a better, bigger plan for you.
Yep. It definitely knows where you need to be developed, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, and I think it's a really good opportunity for you to practice self-forgiveness, because whatever you've done, a lot of times to get yourself out of alignment, I've made bad decisions, right? I haven't maybe gotten enough rest, or I was in the wrong relationship and it got me out of alignment, so things were off. I wasn't in grace. And then I would get so mad at myself. You should have known better. You shouldn't have done that. And then really taking a step back and thinking, okay, this was opportunity for me to grow. This was a realizationship, if you will.
Realization.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Forgive yourself and move on. Get back into grace. Don't wallow and be so mad at yourself, because like living in that anger wasn't doing anything for me.
No.
That certainly wasn't serving me.
Oh,
Yeah, for
totally.
sure.
It's such a good point. I remember always beating myself up because I was like, I should be a better judge of character. How do I keep, getting in the same kind of relationship or the same kind of,
I
business?
should know better.
Yeah, exactly. And then you remember it's like, well, Judas had his Jesus. Jesus had his Judas,
Yeah.
and Buddha has his cousin who accidentally poisoned him. So you have to. Self-forgiveness is important.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love it. But anyway, Miracle Monday, knowing there are no miracles, there's only glitches in your current belief system. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to our extraordinary guests about how they are creating miracles in their life. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm GMLA, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
I'm so excited to be here on the couch with all you amazing people.
Yeah.
I'm just in complete awe. Thank you.
Happy to be here. And for those who don't know what goes on, this is a big old, there's a lot going on here.
a lot
You do
going
this
on
every
here.
day.
Live.
God
5
bless
days
you
a week.
guys. I
Right?
mean, people, there's a lot going on.
Thank you for having me. This is an awesome studio.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, you
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
How exciting Motivation Monday. And the guests this morning have been incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you.
And we have Rachel Boston, who is in The Last Bridesmaid on Hallmark. It actually is dropping tomorrow, the 22nd, right?
It is. Tomorrow night's our premiere.
Woo! How
Congratulations. I am so excited to welcome Jason and Ashley Waller to the show. Congratulations on the new beginnings. We're so excited for the premiere on MTV tonight.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
The book is actually being shipped out today. It published this week.
What?
Congratulations. You guys are
Super
the
cool.
first show that I've actually done talking about the book.
I think this is my first time my book's been up on TV. This is awesome.
Our friends at Universal Pictures have a special delivery for us this morning from a tethered himself.
Ooh.
Have you seen the film Us by Academy Award
my
winner
gosh.
Jordan Peele?
I'm sitting here next to you guys, and it's just like, this is a powerful moment for me. Like, I'm humbled by it, because it's like I'm sharing this movie with you guys, and it's moving for me.
What are you most grateful for today?
I am so grateful to be here and to have the opportunity to be with all these wonderful, badass boss babes and with all of you. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to share the positive messages out in the world, because I think the world really needs it right now.
What we've done and thanking me for the contribution we're making to their lives.
Oh,
and I thought,
nice. That's
this
great.
is what my purpose is. This is why I was born. Now,
Show it off.
Camera.
up to you to choose the winner. Is it Annie? Is it Haley?
That's why I like this show. Years ago I did the Dinah Show, which is Dinah Shore, and it was a daytime show. And it was kind of like this. And it was just like very up, and it was all positive stuff. They didn't bring negative stuff to the audience. And that's why I feel with this show. It's very relaxed. It's very professional, but it's quite a bit of fun.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch
And binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
First TV experience. I'm so happy I did it with you.
inspire, uplift, and empower you. Anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La. On Miracle Monday, we know the miracle of the body if we heal it and cleanse it. So Chef V is in the house to show us how to get our greens in via juicing, cleansing, and her glorious book here. What a beautiful book we have here.
It is. Wow.
Making cleansing easy. I love this. I love your brand. Oh my gosh. You're on point today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Really good.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Tell us, Chef, how did this journey begin for you?
Well, I was a private chef in San Diego, and I would prepare meals for people throughout the week, so like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And before each meal, I would force them to drink this green drink before all of their meals so that they would get like an influx of nutrients before they would eat. And all these people just started coming to me having health revelations. My mom wants the green drink, my sister wants the green drink, and that wasn't really the program. I was, more doing food and chefing. And organically, I just kind of stopped doing the food and started delivering the green drink in San Diego, and now we've expanded nationally. So.
And the key was to drink it before.
Before, yes. That way that your body, when an empty stomach is the best way that you can absorb all the nutrients and get the most benefit from it. If your body has, oatmeal or eggs or something in there first, it's busy breaking all of that down and can't absorb all of the nutrients.
Oh, that's important to know.
Generally, we've found that people that have, a calling and a passion for something generally have gone through something hard themselves. What was your impetus for beginning?
Just finding an easy way to be healthy. Health sometimes can seem like it's hard or it's a struggle or it's work, and by having the green drink every day, it's just something that I can easily do. I know I'm setting myself up right for the day, getting all the nutrients that I need without tons of sugar or pasteurization or anything like that. So, it's just really helped me have great energy. I don't drink caffeine. I just get all I need from my green drink.
I'm glad you brought up the pasteurization, and all the ingredients are organic. Tell us about the importance of that.
Yeah, so we are certified organic, which is very important because there's no pesticides and they're non-GMO. But also, pasteurization, anything that's sold on a store shelf has been pasteurized. So a lot of people think, I'm getting this yummy green juice. If it's sold at Whole Foods or something like that, they're all pasteurized. So they have to either do heat pasteurization, or the new one is HPP, high pressure pasteurization. A lot of the brands are saying, we don't pasteurize, we do HPP. It's not heat pasteurization, they're just applying pressure to the juice to pasteurize it. But again, when you're killing the bacteria, you're also killing lots of the nutrients. So we don't believe in that. And for that reason, our drink only lasts 7 days. We blend it up, we deliver it right to your home, and then it expires within the week.
Wow. So what's in it?
We've got 7 greens. They're the most highest super greens on earth. We've got green kale, black kale, collard greens, dandelion greens, green chard, green leaf lettuce, parsley. And then we just blend a tiny bit of apple to kind of help make it taste good, but still keeps the sugar very, very low. And we also have another flavor. We do a little mango pineapple. It's a tad bit sweeter, but still has very low sugar. Our juice has 3 grams of sugar. Most juices have 30 to 40 grams of sugar, which is more than a Coca-Cola.
Let me take a drink of my coffee.
So, Chef, I do find it really interesting. You say right here on the label, antioxidants for cholesterol busting, right? Eyesight and bones, fighting inflammation. So it's beyond just, hey, get your greens. There are some key things this really does for our body.
Yeah, so I've specifically chose these 7 greens for these reasons, because each one has a different function. Like dandelion greens specifically cleanse the liver. Green kale and black kale are the highest phytonutrients in the highest phytonutrient green in the entire world, which helps fight free radicals and combat cancer in the body. So everything has a specific function.
But how can we use these kind of drinks and this juice to cleanse safely?
So I've created actually a organic cleanse that's not just juice all day, because a lot of these juice cleanses have 200 grams of sugar a day. They're not organic, they're pasteurized, and you're really not cleansing your body naturally. So you get 4 green drinks a day. I give you 2 organic vegan protein shakes a day, and then you also get a yummy soup at night. So you're not just juicing all day and starving. You get all these yummy nutrients. And
sounds like more nutrients I actually get in a day.
Totally, or a week.
Well, take it. If I don't have to think about food, then I'm in.
Right, exactly.
I like all of it, and I like the healthy stuff if it's in front of me.
Totally. So I'm guessing people sometimes have questions and whatnot, and there's additional information that you provide there in the book. So can you talk to us a little bit about the book?
Yeah, so I created the book because, a lot of people, they'd do my cleanse, they'd lose, weight, or they'd feel great after, but then they wouldn't really know what to do post-cleanse. And so I tell them, have the green drink every day, first thing in the morning. That way you're cleansing your body every day when you wake up. And then I created this book as just like a healthy guide for recipes to really, have a healthy lifestyle. So mainly everything in there is dairy-free, gluten-free. We've got like paleo, kid-friendly recipes.
So do you ever have just a donut?
Of course. I mean, my vice is French fries, so it's all about balance. You know what I mean?
I'm happy now. No, I love
Keep
all
it
of it.
100.
Yeah. Tell people where they can grab your juices.
We are all online at chefy.com. We do home delivery. Pretty much all nationally. We have a location in San Diego, and then we have another location on the East Coast in New Jersey. And so we ship and deliver our green drinks nationally.
Congratulations. Great work. So important for people to get the greens in.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm Jessica Moyer, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch and binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
That will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Here to dish on the epic final season of Netflix's Orange is the New Black. Rebecca Knox is in the house. Thank you so much for being with us, and congratulations. Joining the cast of this series must have been, like, seriously.
Right?
It was amazing. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better way to kind of lift my career. It's been the most beautiful experience.
We want to hear about the moment you got the call.
Okay, well, so a couple days prior to getting the call, I had like 4 auditions that day. I was in New York. I was really just at my low point. I was insecure. I hadn't booked anything. I was like, what the hell am I doing this for? This is horrible. And I went home and I cried. And then I worked on my vision board and I cut out Netflix and I stuck it on my board. I literally was just sobbing. And then I went to a meditation class the next day. And then right after that, I mean, my agent called me a few times while I was meditating in this class. And then I got out and I called her back and she's like, you got it. And I was
Whoa.
like, "Ah." And then I started crying in the street. I mean, I cry a lot in my life.
You're an
happy,
actress.
sad.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah, it's just part of who I am. So yeah, I was in New York City, like kind of like frantically crying and sweating, and a lot of people looked at me like I was crazy.
I think this is that's just so inspiring to me, because I would say that most people, when that low phase, particularly in their entertainment business, it's difficult for you to like go to meditation class and then to also be working your vision board. To me, is pretty incredible, right? Most people don't do that. It just
right. I'm a
stay
self-help
stuck.
girl. I mean, I've been going to therapy for years. I've been meditating for years. I'm always trying. I move my body a lot because I have so many emotions. I really have always. I was bullied when I was a kid. I've always struggled with a lot of different, very deep feelings. So I've had no other choice. If I want to function in the world, I've had to learn how to find a balance and see what works to keep me functioning, because otherwise I'm just,
Right.
So were you able to channel any of your personal experience into your character, Tina?
Yes, actually. In a weird way, okay, so because when I was so young, I was bullied, I had to, when I finally hit puberty, I wanted to fit in, so I learned how to fit into the gang, the cool gang of girls. So I started dressing differently, I started straightening my hair, I started kind of trying to like mask myself. And the same way with Tina in the show, I mean, she's this young, kind of yeah, she's a young, naive girl, and she goes into jail, into prison, and she has to figure out how to survive. So she joins the gang, just like I did when I was 12 years old.
Let's take a look at the trailer for the final season of Netflix's Orange is the New Black.
Good morning, Litchfield Max, and greetings to our new cookies.
Wait, this isn't home. This is not home. It is now. First, my friends become not my friends. And then, given a color that other colors want to fight.
Blues and khakis have beef with each other. Pinks are safe out there.
Navigating adult female friendships is so complicated.
What does orange represent to you?
That's an interesting question that I haven't actually thought about. It means that I should keep going. I mean, I was at such a low and I wasn't sure what I was doing. I mean, I haven't been acting very long, and then this show came into my life and it taught me about the beauty of being part of a team and working with actors that I admire, and also starting to learn how to believe in myself. So the show Orange it represents me learning how to trust and believe in myself as an artist, and I've learned how to find my voice, and I think I can, I know I can do it now.
I love that. I always think of the construction zone with the orange, and being intentional and mindful. And I wonder, you said a little bit earlier that, some of your personal experiences sort of informed the way you play this character. Has the character informed the way you live your life?
Yes. Well, she's kind of taught me how I don't want to react.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, don't take the knife and don't stab me.
Yeah, shanking people, maybe not.
Yeah, don't take the drugs.
Yeah.
Because it looks really bad when you're not taking the drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just basically like flatline, things not to do. But also, I do admire how dedicated she is to her team on the positive end of things. I mean, she really, truly does love the people that she fights for. And
today we're talking about grace, and we're talking about how to stay in grace even when times are hard. Earlier we heard about how you still kept true to your practice. Any other ways that you deal with staying in grace even when life isn't out picturing exactly how you want to out picture?
Yeah, I've actually been experiencing a little bit of that. I mean, even this weekend, like when I have any kind of moment when there's a low and I can't really explain exactly why I'm feeling like a little anxious, I grab my paints, I paint. So that's something that I do. I journal a lot. I am reading, I read a lot of different books. And what I do to get myself out of a funk as an artist is I look at other art. I watch, impressive films, I read books, I try to kind of channel all of that energy that's stuck inside and put it somewhere else, because if you're dwelling on all these thoughts that are going on, it's not going to be productive. You can spiral out of control, and then where are you? Yeah. So, I think it's just better to find a way to kind of be more in the moment and be inspired.
So what's next for you, Rebecca?
What's next for me? So I actually just wrote and produced and starred in my own film.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
Yeah, just that small little thing. Just another day.
I forgot to mention that.
Right, well, it's called Cavity. It actually just screened for the first time in LA at the LA Indie Film Fest, which was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm developing it into a feature, and then I'm also going to be directing my first music video at the end of the year.
You go, girl.
That is
super cool.
absolutely incredible. Well, please tell everyone where they can find and follow along.
Yes, at the Rebecca Knox for Instagram and Twitter. You can just see all of my ongoings and what I'm up to.
And of course, you can binge watch Orange is the New Black.
Yeah,
available on Netflix. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land. It is hashtag National Sour Candy Day. We want to thank our special friends from Pucker Powder for treating us today.
Hey, what is this? What is? I don't know. It's like a. Leave
it to the DIY experts.
A sugar hookah. This looks like what I would fill up my car with, the tires. The air thing.
For those of you watching who haven't met Tanya Mimi, she is an Emmy-nominated host.
my God, you're so
Selma's house, Homer Colton family. She's a DIY expert and she's always up for a challenge. So why not give her this sour? Here we go, Tanya.
Oh, come on.
Woo! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Come on.
She's up for it.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La. We're talking about Miracle Monday, how you stay in grace. And we have found this amazing human being that definitely is living in grace. We have Brandon Stennis, who's like Miracle Tennis in the house, a 7-time award-winning actor. You do interviews, you're a dancer, you're an extraordinary young man. How are
Quadruple
you?
threat, man.
I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. When did it start? Do you remember when you first were like, I want to be in entertainment?
Well, my friends at my elementary school were acting and they seemed to be having a lot of fun and they're like, hey, you should try it out. So I told my parents, I'm like, hey, I want to try it out. And they did their parent magic or whatever, and I started doing little jobs, and from there it just kept building and building, and then I just started building from there. Now I'm in a dance school with Debbie Allen, and I'm in her acting and singing and dancing programs, and I am doing plays, and I am just doing a lot.
And you did Young and the Restless.
Yes. So my mom used to watch The Young and the Restless. It was like her favorite show. And I got the call that I had an audition for it. So my mom immediately started coaching me for it. She told me the first thing I had to do was learn all my lines. So I learned all the lines, and then she coached me, and I booked it. And it was amazing.
See, mom knows best, doesn't she?
Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I loved it. I loved the cast and the crew and the set. It was amazing. They had amazing food on the set, which was great. And you know, it was an amazing experience.
It helps when the food's good.
Helps, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the kids love the crafting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do you balance school and friends and work?
It is so crazy, I'm gonna tell you. School, so I go to a very advanced school. I go to the school that Leonardo DiCaprio went to, but the school that I go to holds like really high standards, so they give a whole bunch of homework, but it's fun balancing it all, and it's been hard sometimes, but I've gotten through it. Like last semester I got all A's, I have all A's right now, so I'm getting through it, and yeah.
So we're talking a little bit about grace, trying to really stay in the flow and in your, joy, even when times get hard, because I'm sure there's challenging things I'm sure you go through. What do you do? How do you get your mind right? How do you keep it flowing?
Well, out of all the no's that I get, I try to stay forward, and as an interviewer, one of the questions that I always ask is, do you have any inspiring words? So those inspiring words have helped me a lot. Like some of them have been like, never give up and stuff. So I do never give up. There's many amounts of no's. There's been so many amazing opportunities that I've gotten so close to, but I just keep going and I keep going, and eventually I'm gonna get it.
And eventually get Monster Jam.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would be a dream role for you?
A dream role? I want to work with The Rock.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing, anything like that. I would like to work with Melissa McCarthy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to work with Kevin Hart.
Mm.
So any roles where I would be working with them would be amazing.
What do you love about those three actors?
Well, The Rock, I just love him straight up. He's
Yeah.
an amazing actor. He's very funny, and he can play really, really good roles. Kevin Hart's like one of my favorite comedians. I watched his comedy sketches before he got famous, and they were hilarious. And Melissa McCarthy, I watched several of her movies, and they're amazing, and they're some of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Really young, man. And they all give great advice too.
Yes.
Right?
And we know that when you're not acting, you're also giving back. What kind of
Yes.
charities are you involved with?
So there's this one charity that I love to work with called Spreading the Love, and it's an autism awareness charity, and they keep inviting me to more amazing events, and I love hanging out with them, and they're amazing. There's also another organization called Big Sunday, and we go to events on certain holidays to like give back. Like some of them are for, like on Halloween, you'll donate and you'll make cards for people who aren't as fortunate, or back to school, you'll pack up backpacks with supplies for schools with students who aren't as fortunate.
Oh, I love that.
Fantastic.
I love
Boy. Sound like that. And what would you say, what do you love doing most when you're not working, when you're not giving back?
Well, I'm just a normal kid, so I would say like just having fun and playing games. Like one of my favorite games to play right now is Fortnite. I can be anybody at Monopoly. I'm the king.
Oh man, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I love sports and yeah.
It's good that you play Monopoly. You got to learn business for yourself, not just the craft. Doing business is super important.
Yeah, it's so much easier losing Monopoly money than real money.
Yeah.
I know that from experience.
I was the girl who used to like hide a little bit of that money under the door. It was like save it for a rainy day.
Protect it. That's
There's
awesome.
a lot of good strategies for Monopoly.
For sure. Well, tell
Touche.
people where they can find and follow you.
Well, right now you can keep up with me on my Instagram page. It is at Brandon Stennis. It's Brandon with an I-N instead of an O-N, and it's Stennis, which is S, and then tennis, the sport.
Love it.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you so
Mom.
much.
Thank you.
Awesome,
Stay
thank
tuned.
you
We'll be
guys.
right back.
I'm Jasmine Moye, host of Good Morning La La Land on EverTalk TV. As a little girl with big dreams, I couldn't stop talking. I turned that into a career of premieres and red carpets and even a talk show. And recently, I had my aha moment. I was hosting a live event. A woman who represented a national cancer support community gently pulled me aside from the glitz and the glam, and she thanked me for mentioning their program on my show. Because of those few words that I had spoke on air earlier that week, one of our viewers battling cancer reached out and got the financial and emotional support she so desperately needed. I'm so grateful to have experienced that moment, a moment that truly reflects how much conversation and community matters. We need more of what matters. It is my passion and purpose to create content and lead a conversation that will ignite the light in my community and empower them to live their best lives, starting today. I'm Jasmine Moye, and I'm a host on EverTalk TV. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are beyond honored to welcome Dr. David Feigenbaum to the show. He is the author of Chasing My Cure, and he actually is chasing the cure for himself.
That's right. Thank you so much for having me here today.
It's so important that you're shedding the light on Castleman's disease. Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. It's a rare disorder. About 5,000 patients are diagnosed each year in the U.S. And for me, I learned about Castleman's disease when I was a medical student. I myself became ill with Castleman's. I spent almost 6 months hospitalized in the same ICU that I'd been treating patients in myself for much of that time without any diagnosis. We didn't know what it was that was killing me. I even had my last rites read to me in November of 2010 when the doctors didn't think I would survive. But
Wait, what are the last rites? They read you your last rites?
yeah, so a priest came in because my doctors didn't think I would survive. And so my family, we said goodbye to one another. And fortunately, I was diagnosed just a couple days before that, and they started me on chemotherapy. Chemotherapy saved my life, but unfortunately, I would go on to have relapse after relapse after relapse. And I was able to return to medical school, and when I had my fourth relapse on the only drug in development, and I learned that there were no more drugs that were coming down the pipeline, I promised my then girlfriend, now wife, and my family that I would dedicate the rest of my life, however long that may be, to trying to cure this disease.
Wow. I'm awestruck.
So tell us, obviously, it's between cancer and an autoimmune disease. And so what happens?
That's right. So we don't know why. For some reason, our immune system just begins to attack our vital organs. And so liver, kidneys, bone marrow just shut down, and I ended up in the ICU with multi-organ failure. This has now been 5 times that I've almost died from this disease. But as I mentioned, I started getting involved in fighting back. I got back to medical school between relapses and started doing research in the lab on my own samples. Started a foundation called the Castleman Disease Collaborative Network to accelerate research on an international scale. And 5.5 years ago, I found a signal in the data. I thought that maybe a drug that was developed for kidney transplantation 25 years ago, it had never been used before for Castleman disease. I thought that drug might work for me, and so I started myself on it. The first patient ever with my disease 5.5 years ago, and I've now been in remission for 5.5 years. Yeah, so this book is all about my journey, chasing my cure. I don't know when I'll relapse. I don't know when this disease will come back, but it's been 5.5 years. We're giving it to other patients, and over the course of this journey, I've learned so much about life and about living from almost dying, lessons that I really want to share with others so they don't have to have their last rites read to them. They don't have to go through what I've gone through to learn these lessons.
So I'm sure there's tons of lessons in there, but tell us a little bit. I mean, today we're talking about grace and how you do persevere. So what lessons have you learned that help you persevere through times?
I think that the first one is that I've considered myself in overtime ever since the first time I almost died. And what I've learned is that we're actually all in overtime. You know, every second really counts. And for me, I can hear the clock ticking, but for all of us, we really are in overtime. We need to make the most of our time. Another is that for years, I hoped and I prayed that someone somewhere would figure out my disease, that someone would cure it, would figure out how to treat it. And then I realized that I could, if I really wanted that to happen, if I was praying for it and hoping for it, that I needed to turn my hope into action. I needed to get working on trying to find a cure. And the last one is in the midst of really tough times, to try to create silver linings. You know, in life, in tough times, we try to find silver linings. You know, what positive could come from this? But we could actually create silver linings in the midst of a really tough time. Say, what can I build? What can I do to make a positive out of something really difficult?
Wow, it's just incredible. So, you know, as you're sort of going through this experience, which is clearly, I mean, very tough, very challenging, and you're learning these lessons, are there specific practices you have, or for you, is it something that you are able to do on the fly? I think this whole cognitive agility thing and emotion regulation thing can be very difficult, so people use practices, but sometimes when you have such a, you know, significant experience in your life, you can just sort of pick it up and do it on the fly. What's worked for you?
I think for me, what I've gone through has really focused me so much that kind of everything else has fallen to the side. I have the most incredible wife, and now we have a daughter. We had our daughter Amelia a year ago, and so for me, it's my family and it's my mission. And so, you know, everything else is kind of has fallen to the side.
Wow,
it's just incredible.
So amazing,
right?
The blessings that come out of the hardest things in our lives are. It's funny how we perceive what is a blessing and not a blessing, right?
That's right.
Thank you for all your work and all your research and all your amazing, I mean, what a blessing for the world you are.
Thank you so much. So wonderful to be on the show with you guys.
Is there any advice you could impart to somebody who is facing a rare disease to really turn their hope into action, or even just find hope?
Yes. So I think the first thing is finding the expert, you know, someone that knows your disease. Find the expert, but then realize that you can't just hope that that expert's going to figure everything out. Ask the expert, what can you do? Can you help to raise awareness? Can you raise funds for research? What can you do? And so for Castleman disease, you know, we talk about chasing my cure. I don't know when this disease will come back, so I don't like to use the word cure, but we've advanced a lot. But it's actually chasing our cure. It's trying to think, you know, how can we help other Castleman's patients? How can we help patients with other diseases? The drug I'm on was developed for kidney transplantation, and it's saving my life with Castleman's. How many other drugs are there already out there that might be treatments or cures for diseases like these rare ones you mentioned that are devastating that we need to advance?
Just fantastic. What are you most looking forward to?
Well, I'm most looking forward to every moment I get to spend with my daughter Amelia. And so I have this challenge where I'm working to cure my disease and to prolong my life through research, but I also want to spend the time that I have with my daughter. And so it's this fight to keep advancing the research so I can spend more time with my daughter, but also enjoying the time that I have. Every second counts.
Oh, that's fantastic. Reminds me of this great quote, which is, length is no substitute for depth. When it comes to life, you know, it's just important that you dive deeply into the present moment as much as possible, and you find that the quality of your life often, you know, it becomes bigger and better than the quantity of life experiences you have. So I just love you for reminding us of that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for
Please tell
having me.
everyone where they can find and follow and contribute to the.
Absolutely. So Chasing My Cure is available nationwide in bookstores. You can follow me. I'm D. Fagenbaum on Instagram and David Fagenbaum on Twitter.
Love it. And a Penn alum.
A Penn alum. Working at Penn right now. Exactly.
Fantastic.
So great to be on. Thank you guys.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
That's how we do it. This is how we do it.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm GMLA, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
We all crave connection. I'm a big fan of videoing a podcast.
The impact that I'm having people on a podcast is I'm having more impact on those people than I ever did in news.
We want to be heard, but we also need to listen.
Podcasts. I understand they are red hot.
It's actually remarkable how scary to me podcasting is. Everybody should have a podcast.
I really wondered why. I mean, we've been doing this for 12 years. Nobody has done this in other arenas.
We have to change the conversation to happiness over financial success. It was like, we have to. We have to.
Honestly, it was meeting new people who had already heard about what we have done and thanking me for the contribution we're making to their lives.
Oh,
And I thought,
nice. That's
this
great.
is what my purpose is. This is why I was born.
Yeah.
I think this is my first time my book's been up on TV. This is awesome.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
Binge watch.
And you can binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch and binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye. Entertainment that will inspire, uplift, and empower you. Anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land here on Miracle Monday. I tell you, for me, it's like a miracle just being here this Monday. And I feel that way for so many reasons, but I wonder from each of you, if there's been a miracle in your life, what has that miracle been? I think we've all experienced miracles, but some of us have specific moments that we remember the most. So for each of you, what's been the greatest miracle in your life, and what do you think sort of led to it?
I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
I think the miracle in my life has really been once I started doing this drink, the amount of people's lives that I've changed. People that thought they could never eat vegetables, or people that have had autoimmune diseases or certain ailments, and then they start doing this and they realize, wow, it's not that hard. I can, be healthy, be easy. It's easy. So I don't know. I think that's definitely.
I'll drink to
thing
that.
Totally. Yeah, I would say so many of my clients are convinced that the only green they like is cash. So a little green juice.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
What's
Everything's good. Anything that's green is good, right?
True, Brad.
Exactly.
Absolutely. What about you, doctor?
So for me, I think the moment that my daughter came into the world a year ago just has changed my life. And the idea that the research that I did that has kept me alive, the drug that I'm on that's keeping me alive, enabled Amelia to be here with me and for me to be with her is definitely the miracle in my life.
Fantastic.
So good.
Yeah,
what
beautiful
about
name,
you?
too.
What's your miracle?
I don't know right now. I'm young. I don't think I've had too many miracles.
I'm going
but
to
I can
stop
say-
you right there.
I can say one thing. I can say I know that I've wanted to give up so many times, but I haven't given up, and that's amazing. And I'm not going to give up on this career because of all the no's that I'm going to get and everything that's happened in the past. I keep going for it. So
That's a miracle.
I love that. Yeah. So just so you know how wise you are, I was watching an interview with Jay-Z, and they basically asked him, what's the greatest thing you did in building the business and the empire you have? And he said, the only genius thing we did the whole time, because we knew nothing about business, was not give up. So that's genius.
Oh,
he's awesome.
He is awesome.
His daughter goes to my dance school, so at her last recital, I met him and Beyonce, and they're really nice.
Oh.
Hold on a minute.
They
Talk
can
about
touch
miracles.
No miracles in your life whatsoever.
I know. Your day is full of miracles. Absolutely.
Well, I can definitely agree with you on what you just said. It's all about not giving up, especially in this industry where there are a lot of no's. I'm a little older than you, probably gotten more than you have. It's okay, it doesn't matter, keep going, whatever. I think a miracle that really changed the course of how I started to work, I met Meryl Streep at a premiere like 4 years ago, I guess. It was right before I booked my first job. And I wasn't really working to the capacity that I should have. I wasn't really kind of seeing what goals I wanted. And she looked at me. I went up to her. I was sweating. I was about to puke. I mean, this whole thing. And she looked at me and she touched my face and she was like, Rebecca, you're beautiful, but you have to work hard because it's a lot more than just being beautiful. And the second she said that, I was like, okay, I'm going to work really, really hard. And from then on, I have, and I booked my first job 3 months after that.
Wow. That's profound.
Yeah.
What a miracle.
Yeah.
Speaking of miracles, a miracle is that key hasn't fallen out of that
Yeah.
lock yet. That's a miracle.
Oh, I know. I'm always scared about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The biggest miracle, I think, for sure, for me, is just the miracle of awakening to truth and seeing how it's all one big miracle and yet not a miracle at all.
Yeah,
And that's-
yeah. Explain what you mean by that, Aaron, because I think a lot of people don't get that, and I think it's profound around the belief system and
Yeah, I mean, for me, the miracle is seeing all of it as this divine, gift of growth and evolution. And so no matter if it's a hard time, if it's a disease, if it's death, if it's whatever, that it's all here for our growth and for us to realize that this is a transient thing in this form. And that's the beauty, that we need to treat it like it is a miracle, because it's a gift to have this relative experience of the good, the bad, all of it. We love all of it, and that's the miracle for me that set me free from all the suffering. Yeah.
Love that.
I'll drink to that.
There you go.
Sheffy, what
Gracious.
are we having this morning?
All right, well, it's blended, not juice. You might need to just a little shake it up a little bit. But 7 greens blended with just, you guys got the mango pineapple one, and that one is the one with the apple. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. It's going to be a good morning, Lawlin.
Cheers.
Wow, it's really good. It's good. It is good. Wow.
Yes, Miracle Monday. We are Good Morning Lawland, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also available on Apple TV and Roku. And iTunes. All of our interviews are available as a podcast.
That's right. We are waking up the world together, you guys. Make it a miraculous Monday and have a divine day.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.